ooh, it's so sad to say it, but in entrepreneurship, sometimes as you are on a climb, looking for, like, working toward a goal, you get to that peak of that goal, but, you know, once you get there, you don't stay there forever. You're going to come back down and you're going to have to work your way back up. But also sometimes while you're on that ride, it might decide to stop. And if it stops, you need to do the work that's put in place to, you know, to make things keep going again. And in that, I want to segue it into being an experience of kind of like someone buying you a brand new car. But when they buy this brand new car, it has all these bells and whistles, but it's missing tires. And the tires, that's how you really need those on that car to, like, you know, keep going, to actually go from point A to B. And the work that goes into it is, as entrepreneurs, we feel like we have to get all 4 of these tires at one time and get this car from here to there, like today. Like how you said, you have all these different things on your to-do list and you still don't feel like you've accomplished anything through that day. So with those tires, you realize, you know, I got to get one tire at a time. And there will be times where the tire is a lot more expensive than what you can afford. So you have to use your resources. I got a friend with a tire shop. Okay, cool. How many tires you got, my friend? I only got 2 for you. Okay, I could take those 2 and I could work for the other 2. Like, you still aren't going from point A to B the way you want, but you're making progress to get there.
Without black, there cannot be anything else.
Welcome to another edition of the Black and Abundant podcast, where we talk about all things personal development, and we're going to teach people how to be black and abundant. You feel me? And we're going to bring to you dope people, information, and resources that's going to teach you how to do so. And today, we have an amazing special guest in the building that I have the honor and the privilege to have an amazing conversation with. Her name is Courtney Howard. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
For sure. It's only right. We had to do this. And before we dive into it, I just want to make sure I say this to you. If nobody told you recently, I want to make sure I say this. You may already know this, but I just want to let you know you're doing great work.
Thank you.
You're doing amazing work, and the world needs to know not only who you are, but what you do and why you do what you do, because you're very inspirational.
Love
and
it.
You're dope.
Yeah, thank you.
For sure. No problem.
God is dope. He
God
made
is
me.
dope.
I'm a child of God. So
Right.
we dope together.
We're going to be dope all together.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, let's dive into it. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Yep. So I'm Courtney Howard. I do life the fun way of making sure I fully live out the human experience, whether that's, you know, sitting in the sadness or enjoying my happiness and just being real with myself, being real with others, and everything that being a human comes with. I also do law, so I'm an attorney by trade. But the fun part of me does entrepreneurship. I also have a company called Love Your Scalp, where we make plant-based scalp care products for people with a dry, itchy, or flaky scalp, or even who are suffering from psoriasis or dermatitis. I'm also an aunt of 3. And yeah, I'm in love too. So yes, I'm a woman of God and all the things that comes with. So I'm a whole lot of things. Phenomenal woman. That's me.
There we go. There we go. That's Kamari. Welcome. We live, bro. Walk on in. Big bro. Well, not big bro, but little bro Kamari. What's good, bro?
What's up?
But yeah. That's amazing. We got to unpackage all that. Got to.
Let's go.
You kind of threw a curveball. I want to talk about this. I wasn't going to hit on this, but I feel like it's important. Where did this human experience approach come from? Talk about that. Can you mention that quite a few times in our interaction conversation?
Yes.
You're saying like, you know, that's okay. That's just a part of the human experience.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Yes. So it really came from having to realize that I don't have to be perfect to succeed in life. I don't have to be perfect to succeed in friendships and relationships. I don't have to be perfect to even succeed in my professional life. Like, yes, I want to put forth my best foot at all times and, be excellent in what I do. But I know that mistakes will happen. I will mess up. I won't always get it right. I might not always answer the phone when you need me. I might not always give the right response you're looking for as a friend. So like all of that is a part of embracing the human experience. And so often like we kind of like are operating like machines to where we feel like things have to go this way in this order and it got to be perfect. And you run off a lifelong battery and you never have to shut down and give yourself a break. Like a part of the human experience is shutting down and give yourself a break. You have to sleep. You're not a machine. You're not a robot. Even robots, technology, sometimes these phones, they go dead. So we have to turn them back on. So that's what embracing the human experience is for me. And like, that's why I put it out there a lot because so many people look up to me and I never really knew that until like I started just throwing myself out there, whether it's on social media or speaking to people in person and they walk up and be like, you inspire me so much. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, well, don't think I'm perfect. And now I try to show a lot of that on social media and stuff. So knowing that people follow me, I'm like, let me show them the imperfect side of things. Let me show them the human part of me, which is really all of me. So that's where the human experience comes from, and we should embrace that.
Gosh, that's so freaking good, man. Oh my God. The reason why that's exciting, man, that just by you talking about that, that's so freeing. I feel like that takes a lot of load and pressure off of you and just this idea of meeting expectations and stuff like that, which is something that we all need to make sure we practice on a daily as human beings.
Yeah.
Because you're going to drop the ball. People put you on these pedestals. Oh, you're so inspiring, this and this and that. And they put you up here in their mind. But like, you got to remind people, bro or sis, I'm just a human being just like you. Don't forget that.
Yep.
Wow. That's a reminder for myself. So thank you. Did something happen in your past that like were you always hard on yourself coming up or like something?
I wouldn't say I've always been hard on myself. Growing up, my dad was hard on me. He always used to talk about like, you're not going to grow up and just be a pretty girl. You're not going to grow up and just have a beautiful smile. You're going to be smart. You're going to know how to talk. You're going to know how to speak up for yourself.
Yeah.
Human experience. You're going to know how to speak up for yourself. And he was hard in that way. Also, my grandmother, she wasn't hard on me, but she was more so like, you're going to know how to walk into a room and have manners, and you're going to be respectful, and you're going to demand respect as well. So those type of things were things that like I was raised with, but I've never been like super hard on myself. Like if I miss a shot, okay, let me just go get the rebound, try to shoot it again.
Yeah.
But I can say, wow, I haven't been really hard on myself. I do kind of have a hard time knowing that, well, not anymore, but I used to have a hard time knowing that like everything I did didn't have to be perfect. I would stay up days, even in college. I would stay up days, like overnight, trying to get things and make them perfect, thinking I had to have all A's, thinking I had to be at the top of my class, because that for me, I was taught that was what success is. But when I realized you could be successful without all of that, those are great things to, have on your, what do we call those things? Transcripts and resumes, but that's not what makes you successful as a human being.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, no, I've never been super hard on myself, but I have been like, oh my God, we got to do this and we got to do it right.
Like
but I give myself
perfectionist?
grace along the way.
Wow. Man, you know how many people out here dealing with like perfectionism? Is that a word? We're going to make it a word today.
Okay.
We're going to make it a word today. All right. We're just trying to be perfect. And it's so detrimental Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's, man.
Yeah. And I've also learned that like being perfect is honestly, it's kind of sad to say it, but being perfect is actually a detriment to your human experience, because if you're perfect, that means you don't have room to grow. That means like you don't accept feedback and criticism in a way that you could apply to make things differently. That also means you don't give yourself room to make mistakes. And who wants to know that they have to walk through life on eggshells? I surely don't. So I think it's important to know that, while you do want to present your best self, it's okay to remember you are human. Things do happen. Because you're doing life with other humans, they should understand that things happen. You make mistakes. And they should also be there to like carry you through the parts of life that you can't handle yourself. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
That's important. One last question about the human experience and being perfect, and we're gonna segue off. This is really important. What habits or routines or are there things you're doing on a daily basis to practice being a human and getting rid of this perfect mindset? What do you do on a daily to help that?
Yes. Once upon a time, I used to wear a cape and thought I could do all things at all times at the same time. Although I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, I had to learn that, again, I'm a human, not a robot. And so I can't do all things at the same time and dedicate my full self to it so that I could present excellence with whatever it is I'm putting out. So now I practice this thing called Top 3. And what I have is a to-do list. It's actually in my book bag, but I have a to-do list of that I do for the week. And I write it out. I usually write it out on Sundays, my whole week, Monday through Friday. And I put 3 things under each day. And they're usually large tasks that I have to break down, or a lot of like mini tasks that's going to take a lot of time to do. So I put those top 3 things on under each day, and every day has a different 3 things. And as I mark those things off, that's me knowing, okay, I'm accomplished for the day. But I also have a little corner with a like running to-do list. But those are things that I call rubber balls. And with rubber balls, I don't have to do them immediately. Like the glass balls, if I don't do them now, they're going to shatter. So if I finish some stuff up on my top 3, I'll go to those rubber balls and say, hey, I could pull some from here and do this. Or I'll tell myself, take a break, shut that computer down, watch some Netflix, take a nap, something like that. But that's how I keep myself on track and really keep myself motivated throughout the day. Like, okay, I did these 3 things. I'm good. If I don't do anything else today, it's fine. I have another 3 tomorrow.
God. That's so good. That's so good. And that you speaking to me, because that is something that I can work on for myself. Because every day I have a running list of just tasks, and I can do 5 to 7 things. And I still have a like feeling of like that's just not enough. And I just keep going until late into the night. And I'm getting better and better. There's a point in time where like it didn't matter how much I got done. I never felt like
you did enough.
Exactly. And that is something within me that was off. I don't know where I learned it from or why I felt like I can do a million things in a day. You feel me? But that's not really the goal, though. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, it shouldn't. But I can say, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I know for me, it came from or feeling like, it's not enough, although you've done 5 to 7 things. It came from, growing up. Even the whole perfectionist thing, growing up, I was always told, like, you're going to have to be twice as better. And if somebody is good, you got to be great and all that stuff. And it's like, no, you don't. Like, you could be whoever you are in that moment and whatever is needed for that moment. You don't have to just keep going just to try to, like, beat the next person. Like, no, do yourself better today to be better than you were yesterday. Yep. The end. That whole twice as much thing. Because I've worked twice as hard and I still don't have twice as much or as much as the person who didn't do twice as much as I did. So I'm here to say that that's false and really outlive what it looks like to do the opposite.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah, don't feel bad.
I'm definitely taking notes and we'll be applying going forward.
Please apply going forward.
For sure. For sure. All right. So you are, you're an attorney and also a boss, CEO, entrepreneur. So just tell us, how did you get there? Just tell us our story. If you want to take us back to the beginnings and what inspired that journey.
Which journey are you speaking
I guess,
of?
so you started your attorney first and then you transitioned over to entrepreneurship, right?
Yep.
So what made you want to be an attorney?
All right. Going back to the early 1900s. I'm kidding. But no, back in college, I was heavily involved with our homecoming committee on campus. Mm-hmm. And in that role, not only did we manage teams and budgets, but we also managed production. So we would book artists to come to campus for our homecoming. And the year I got a chance to work closely with our artist, I can't remember the name of the homecoming title we had. I believe it was called Epic. We had Drake and 2 Chainz come to campus, and with working with them, it turned into an internship where I was on the road for the summer, working with Tamar Braxton. And then they're like, wow. Hey, do you want to come back and have a job with us after college? Of course I do. So being in that role for homecoming, working as a touring manager, also after that, working as a project manager, in all those roles, I was negotiating contracts, agreements, managing teams, people, really just operations all across the board. Mm-hmm. And I did not know then that I was basically being a representative or an advocate, for those artists or for the communities we were serving, for the students I was working with. And when I started working on a project with the city of Birmingham, for their comprehensive plan across the 99 neighborhoods, that's when I realized, oh, wow, there's a greater impact in this, and it's within me. And so I asked my mentors, hey, should I go the PhD route or the lawyer route to expand my capacity to do things like sign my name on these agreements I'm reviewing, or have my name down at the bottom of the research initiative that we're doing? And they're like, you need to go to law school. It'll be a lot more versatile for you to be able to use than it will for a PhD. So that's really what influenced me to go to law school, that background work in entertainment and community work. Then when I got into law school, I realized how much money people make reviewing contracts. And during my internship, I realized how everybody really doesn't know how to catch those loopholes in the agreements that could either be beneficial or detrimental to the client. But it came easy for me, and it still does. And so I decided to take that role in it, and more of a volunteer role in the community aspect of things. But that's really what influenced me to go to law school. I didn't grow up wanting to be a lawyer. I always said I wanted to help people. I've also always said I wanted to have my own business. Really? And being able to see both happen, me help people and have my own business, it's crazy how God literally just put that on my heart as a child. And I'm doing it now at 30. So
wow,
yep,
that's amazing. I don't want to. When I think about attorney and law, that stuff is. I know it's something I need to be aware of when it comes to contracts and making sure you properly read stuff. And I just never took the time to really dive into it. It's a lot of reading, but Black people don't like to read. I'm a reader. I read every single day.
Yeah,
but we come across contracts all the time. Okay, when you want to purchase something big, you're going to come across a contract in some way, shape, or form. But you see all those words,
you get intimidated.
How often do we just sign without reading?
All the time.
So you mentioned that you saw a bigger impact that you wanted to make. And what are some things that you feel like Black people should know when it comes to contracts? And what have you noticed along your journey being an attorney when it comes to that?
Oh, yeah. When it comes to contracts, I think people people should not only read the contract to see like what you're getting yourself into, but you need to read those terms and conditions, because sometimes they won't be beneficial to you. The main thing people need to make sure they have in their contract is what their remedies are, especially if you're the person that is purchasing the service. If you're providing the service, you really don't care outside, like, as long as I get my money, I'm good. Whereas the person who is receiving the service, you're like, okay, well, what if this relationship doesn't go well? What are our remedies for that? Do I get the money back I paid you? Do I get the money back I was expecting to make off what I paid you? Do I get my money back at all? Yeah. Some agreements don't have remedies in them. You also want to know what your termination rights are. Can you terminate this agreement for cause, as in like, hey, you didn't follow through on this, you breached this part of the agreement, but we're not terminating for that. We're actually terminating because we booked this place to have an event, but the place burned down, so we technically can't have it there anymore. So are we terminating this agreement, or am I obligated to find you another location because you've already paid me? Terminate for breach. If it's something in the agreement that y'all both said y'all wouldn't do, or you would do by a certain time and it was not done, then you terminate the agreement. Okay, what is our procedure for terminating this? It could be a lot, but when you have somebody on your team who is keeping your best interest in heart, I think they can review the agreement for you and show you. That's what I do to a lot of my clients. I review the agreements for them, show them all the things that could hurt them, show them the areas that can help them, and show them where there are loopholes where we need to actually add in some terms that'll be beneficial to you, or sometimes beneficial to both parties.
Gotcha. I'm just be real with you. Like, everything you said, I just right over my head. I don't even think about those things. And with me, just where I'm at in life, I come across, contracts and also doing some big things. I'm not aware. I'm not ashamed to say that. It's just the reality of it, which we need to get more aware about it. But there's a mass of people who doesn't even think like that too. Man, that's kind of sad. But can I say this? Going forward, when we're doing these big deals and getting ready to sign these multi-million-dollar, deals and stuff like that, we could just come to you, you read over for us and. Yep. All right, bet. I'll just ready to do that.
The number one most unread contract, really, in the whole world.
What is that?
I think you know it. If you get it right, I have to give you a Love Your Scalp beard kit. You got 10 seconds.
Okay.
3, 2,
car?
1. Nope. Your Apple agreement that you have to have for your iPhone.
I thought of that.
Yeah, people don't read that. They just click agree and move to the next thing because they're ready to get their iPhone set up.
Right.
Yep.
But have you noticed some things in the agreement that people should know about? Like
your privacy. Like they have access to all of that, especially if you have face recognition on your phone. Now they have your biometric data. You're using your fingertips to tap. Like they have all that stuff.
But we can't get around it though, right? If we want to be able to use the phone, like we got to accept.
That's the problem. That's the problem. I wouldn't be surprised within the next 2 decades, some type of lawsuit comes out where they are obligated to have people to be able to make a choice. Since technically, if you don't agree to these things, there's no way for you as the customer to contact Apple and say, "Hey, I don't agree to this line on this page." Like, nah. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, Apple, if you come across this, get ready for what's to come, because you got some big coming. Because you stealing our privacy and capitalizing off our ignorance. We giving it to them.
Yeah, you agree when you click that button.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Wow. So let's let's segue into your business. Tell us the journey. How did you get to where you are today? Like, what sparked the journey?
So, my mom and dad have a flaky scalp. And while I was in law school, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead and get it out.
It feels like it's coming, but it won't come up. It just feels like it's right here. Okay. When you get old, like when you turn 30, your body just does dumb things.
You acting like 30 years old.
Bro, it might not be old like a number, but I don't know about the male body, but the female's body, this the most change I done seen in my 30 years of life. It's crazy. But anyways, okay. Question was how?
So how did you get here? How did you get to being the founder and CEO of Love Your Scalp?
Yeah.
Hold up. Now, I know you ain't listening to this podcast and your credit is jacked up. Nah. The goal here is being black and abundant, not black and limited, because we both know that there's only so much you can do with a jacked up credit score, right? I know you're tired of getting denied. So what I need you to do is head over to start.jscocapital.com and book a free credit consultation with us right now. And let us come up with a game plan to get your credit right. I do not care what's on your credit. It can be collections, bankruptcies, charge-offs, late payments, you name it. We'll get you right. So once again, that's start.jscocapital.com. All right. I'm looking forward to talking to you soon. Now let's get back to the episode.
Okay, so my parents have a flaky scalp, whether it's psoriasis or seborrheic dermatitis, but it didn't really trigger on my end until college, and I would have like flare-ups here and there, but it was nothing continuous. But I realized while I was in law school that I had flaky scalp flare-ups all the time. So I would get super flaky up in here. Like it would be on my forehead, on my ears, like behind my ears and like in my scalp. And I went to a few dermatologists to get shampoo and ointment and all these medicated products for it, because it's like, I'm in law school. I can't just be the part. I gotta look the part. And I don't think flaky scalp come with that.
Yeah.
So I ended up using all those ingredients, but I mean not ingredients, I'm sorry, using the medication that they gave me, but it actually made my situation worse. It damaged my hair. I had spots in my hair where like it was real little bitty shrubs of hair, and that was embarrassing for me.
I bet.
So I used to talk to my dad about it a lot, and he's in the pharmaceutical industry. So he recommended like getting plants, and he was like, all we do is go to another country, get the plants, come back here and turn it into a chemical. I'm like, okay. So I started doing lots of research on products that cause flaky scalp, so I wouldn't use any of those ingredients in my Love Your Scalp formula. But I also started doing research on plants that are known to help with things like psoriasis, eczema, dry scalp, dry skin, scalp bacteria, scalp fungus, all those things. And I formulated a whole product from those ingredients. But it wasn't until like my fourth formulation that I got the Love Your Scalp formula. And when I saw that it was working for me, I sent it off to my aunts and my dad, and it worked for them. And they like, oh, you got something now. And for me, it wasn't naming it Love Your Scalp to be cute or anything. It was really naming it Love Your Scalp as a reminder to myself to love myself, love my hair, love my scalp through the process that I was going through of having a flaky scalp and all of the like annoying things that it came with, even like lowering your confidence in certain hairstyles to where like, oh, I can't wear my hair up because you're gonna see my flakes in the back. I can't wear my hair not showing my forehead because you're gonna see my flakes up here. So there were even certain hairstyles I would not wear because I had a flaky scalp. So when Love Your Scalp started working, I was just like, sharing it with my family. It wasn't a business. It didn't become a business until I was at Congressman John Lewis's funeral, and I noticed a lady digging in her scalp. Really trying not to dig too much so the flakes wouldn't fall on her shoulder. But we had on black, and so you saw the flakes. They were very there. And so when the funeral was over, I told her I had a product in my hotel room I wanted her to try, and it was my personal jar of Love Your Scalp. So I gave it to her, and about 2 months later, she was using the product and reached out to me and said, "This is the only thing that has worked for me, and I need some more of it." And I was like, "Oh, I don't sell it. I just, make it for my family and for myself." And at that time, it had cleared my scalp, so I didn't really need any more of it. But she was determined to turn it into something bigger than I was making it. Mm-hmm. And she came from Georgia to Alabama. And she wrote me a check and said, "I want you to purchase the ingredients to make me some, and I want you to sell the rest. However you sell it, I don't want the money back. I just want you to sell the rest." I'm like, okay. So I purchased the ingredients, made her some, went to Facebook, told Facebook what happened. And so many people responded. They're like, "I have a flaky scalp. I want some. I want some. I want some." And I sold it for like $12. And the business person that I am now is like, "Girl, you gave that grease away," because the plant-based ingredients cost way more than $12. Sure. Shipping it costs way more. Like all of those things, packaging, everything costs way more than $12. But I realized then when everything flew out from that Facebook post that I needed to create a business. And from there, I learned everything overnight, really, building a website, doing the social media stuff, making labels for the products. Like it was a lot of trial and error throughout it, but I just did what I knew how to do and what was at my fingertips, and it took off from there. So now we went from Facebook to having a whole website, selling worldwide. We're actually so all across America. We have customers in Canada, Great Britain, Jamaica, and Australia now. So It's growing, and I'm so proud of it.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Shouts out to you.
Yep. Man, thank you. Wow. Let's love your scalp.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Talk about Black and Abundant. Man, for sure. So this lady drove from out of town and came and met you personally and gave you money and told you to, "Hey, make me some and sell the rest," and went from there. Wow. Yep. So obviously this is a huge problem in the Black community.
Yes.
So talk about like how big of a problem is it? Like what some realizations you came across in your research that you did not know prior to doing your research? Because you was dealing with it and you said your father was dealing with it.
Yep.
And my sibling in my family, very close, I'm not going to say specifically who it is, has dealt with that as well. There it goes. Get it out. It's all good.
Ooh, I knew it was coming.
Feel better?
Yes, I feel so much better.
Good. That's good.
Ooh. Okay, thanks.
Human experience, y'all. Let's go. Talk about that human experience. And shouts out to
even
you.
The growth part, I guess.
Look, y'all, look. Embrace that human experience because this is important. You may be on a podcast. You just got to get your burp out. And Kamara, it's okay, bro.
You did the same? The shade that he just threw.
But no, I promise you it wasn't no shade. It was me practicing being a human. Just accepting the human experience. Because you try to be perfect on the podcast, then look, the human body just said, "Look, I got to burp now."
It's my burp, and I'm letting it out now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So look, we all for it. So, do you know any stats? Like just how many,
So I don't know stats as far as like how many people have psoriasis or dermatitis. I do know that a lot of times it is triggered just the same way you have an allergic reactions to certain foods, or how people have allergic reactions to certain lotions and colognes, perfumes, dish detergents, clothing detergents. Your scalp has allergic reactions to certain foods. It also has allergic reactions to certain ingredients that are in lots of hair care products, especially in the Black community. We like to use gel and edge control. I know that because I used it a lot before I found, I used it a lot before I found out I had seborrheic dermatitis and psoriasis. And there are ingredients like coconut oil and alcohol in these ingredients. There's some good alcohols, but also bad alcohols that are drying for your hair, which if it's drying out your hair, it's drying out your scalp.
Right.
So yeah, you have those allergic reactions on your scalp, just like you have sensitive skin, you have sensitive scalp.
Wow. But that's all we know. You know, we go towards these products that's on the shelves and cheap products that we put on our skins and not realizing that it's these products that's causing all these issues, right? I was going to ask, is it hereditary as well? Or was it simply what we're putting on our skin and just causing our skin to have an allergic reaction and it just...
So sensitive skin can be hereditary, but you can also just have sensitive skin. But yeah, sensitive scalp can be, for me, it's hereditary. My mom and dad had it. I have it, preferably with Love Your Scalp. My children won't have to worry about having a flaky scalp, but yes, it is. Even like a lot of my allergic reactions I have to different foods, like that's in my family. So my granddad can't have dairy, can't have tomatoes, can't have pineapples. Courtney turns 28, can't have dairy, can't have pineapples, can't have tomatoes. Wow. So it's literally the same things. But the beauty in it is, okay, 9 times out of 10, now I know for my life, if my granddad has it, it's highly possible that I'm going to have it. So let me go ahead and put things in place to either fix those problems or prevent the other ones from happening.
Gotcha.
Like, high blood pressure, stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Work out.
One more question on this. So as for Black people, what are some things that we should stop doing today when it comes to like products that we're using, foods that we're putting in our body that can trigger certain things, such as psoriasis and all the skin issues? What do you recommend that we should stop doing and start embracing?
One, stop using products because they smell good. That includes body wash, shampoo, conditioner, because a lot of times those are artificial fragrances, and those things can cause flare-ups to your sensitive skin or your sensitive scalp. Another thing is you could try doing a hand test. So you do it on your palm and you do it on the back of your hand, to where if you wash your hands with a certain product, whether it's a shampoo that you wash your hands with first and you dry your hands and you see that your hands are super ashy and dry, a lot of times if it makes your hands super ashy and dry and it's stripping the oils from your hands, it's going to do the same thing to your hair and your scalp. So also testing our products before we just be like, ooh, that smells good, I'm going to try this tonight. No, you need to try it on your hands first. Give it about 24 to 48 hours. See if you have a reaction and then use it on your scalp or your whole body, however you want to do so.
Gotcha. Outside of shopping with your company and the website, all the information is going to be below. Make sure y'all start going to these big name brand places that our Black people should not be going to, y'all, and start shopping with our queen here. She's made a product, plant-based, natural. She's done all of the work. You don't have to go to them. Go straight to her.
Yes, come to me.
She has the secret formula. She will get you right.
And also read the ingredients on the back of these products you're purchasing, because just because a product is expensive does not mean it is of high quality. So you definitely want to read these ingredients that are in your products. And there are lots of apps that you can download and use to see what ingredients are like non-toxic versus the ones that have toxic ingredients in them. And from there, you make your personal decision if that's what you want to put on and in your body. You know, what the results are may be dependent upon what type of skin you have. So, yeah, I just know it's for me and my skin. We a little expensive, so we on the sensitive side. So I just have to be careful with the things I'm using on my skin.
Wow, gotcha. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing all that.
You're welcome.
One more thing, another thing I want to kind of segue into. I feel like it's important. We can't skip the fact that, you know, one, you are an attorney that required a lot of work and dedication to get to that place, but also you are an entrepreneur, CEO, very successful CEO, entrepreneur, boss lady. And it takes a lot to get to that place. You can't just wake up one day and say like, hey, I have a successful business and think it's all glitz and glam and pretty and stuff. I would like for you to, can you teach our people how to be an entrepreneur?
That's an experience.
Can you, a human experience, right?
Yeah, that's an experience.
Right. Can you tell our people, on our aspiring people out there that wants to start a business and wants to get into that space, like give them the real raw truth of what it's like to be an owner of a major successful company? Like, what is it like?
All right. Let me see how I can explain this. Okay. It's two ways to explain this. One, you can explain it as a roller coaster where, you know, there are parts of the roller coaster you like, oh my God, that part was so fun. Did you know that big drop? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big drop. But after you dropped, like y'all had to like make y'all way back up too, right? Mm-hmm. And then you also anticipated the drop as you were going up. And sometimes in entrepreneurship, it's so sad to say it, but in entrepreneurship, sometimes as you are on a climb, looking for like working toward a goal, you get to that peak of that goal, but you know, once you get there, you don't stay there forever. You're going to come back down and you're going to have to work your way back up. But also sometimes while you're on that ride, it might decide to stop. And if it stops, you need to do the work that's put in place to, you know, to make things keep going again. And in that, I want to segue it into being an experience of kind of like someone buying you a brand new car. But when they buy this brand new car, it has all these bells and whistles, but it's missing tires. And the tires, that's how you really need those on that car to like, you know, keep going, to actually go from point A to B. And the work that goes into it is, as entrepreneurs, we feel like we have to get all four of these tires at one time and get this car from here to there, like today. Like how you said, you have all these different things on your to-do list and you still don't feel like you've accomplished anything through that day. So with those tires, you realize, you know, I got to get one tire at a time. And there will be times where the tire is a lot more expensive than what you can afford. So you have to use your resources. I got a friend with a tire shop. Okay, cool. How many tires you got, my friend? I only got 2 for you. Okay, I could take those 2 and I could work for the other 2. Like, you still aren't going from point A to B the way you want, but you're making progress to get there. And so with these tires, like, you're going to have to take care of those 2 tires. So keep the business that you got going, like whatever systems you need to put in place, keep that going. Whatever people you have in place, make sure you're keeping them happy and know that you are appreciative of them and their time so that they can keep, you know, you rolling or keep this car at least cranking up before you get to rolling. And then like, you know, you get some more resources. You could apply to grants or, you know, get funding so you can get 2 more tires for the other side and finally get to rolling. Well, once you get to rolling, you still need gas to keep it up. You still need to do maintenance to keep it up. And all of that is a part of your business, but it's more so you as the leader. You still need to make sure you are fueled enough to keep the business going so you don't like, you know, give up when you reach burnout. Yeah, you could take a break when you reach burnout, but don't completely give up. Yeah. Because in that time, you could, you know, really be giving your ideas to somebody else to start this. And all that work you just did is gone to waste. So, you know, make sure you refuel yourself. And also how you have to do maintenance and stuff. as a leader, if you're going to be leading a business and working with people, you got to make sure you keep those skills in place to be a good leader. Because honestly, sometimes business don't fail because it's a bad idea. It might fail because you have a bad leader. And so those are just things. That's the way I would explain it. Like a roller coaster ride, but also a car that you got the solution to a problem, but the way you get there, like you're going to have to put in the work and use your resources to, turn that problem into a solution that actually comes to life.
I like that. And speaking of leadership, so if you can name 3, I want to say 3 to 5, but like at least give us 3. What are your top 3 leadership skills that an entrepreneur must have to build a successful business? Like what are they in your opinion that you've learned on your journey of entrepreneurship?
Yeah. Number 1, the importance of establishing relationships and maintaining those relationships. Honestly, before entrepreneurship, like I'm really good at talking to people, but establishing a relationship like beyond our initial contact, yikes. I was not good at that. Because I felt like, okay, I'll see you when I see you. Yeah. All right. That was nice to meet you. But no, like the way that you continue building your business, and not even just building your business, but building people who you're working with, whether you're connecting them to other opportunities or to other people who can help them with whatever they're doing, like establishing relationships is very important. Another one is knowing how to manage money. Not just managing cash flow money, but managing like credit that you might have, or managing money that might be coming in that you have sent people invoices for that they haven't paid yet. Like you need to manage that relationship so you can get your invoice paid, and you need to manage that money. Like, okay, I understand you probably can't pay me the whole $1,500 right now. Are you okay with us doing a payment plan? Maybe you could pay me $150 a month until things get good on your end. Like those type of things. So managing relationships, managing your money, making sure you don't run out of cash flow, trying to do things that you don't really have a necessity for to actually keep the business operating. I learned that the hard way because I was buying promotional items for Love Your Scalp, not realizing that like, okay, I'm going to spend $1,500 on promotional items, but I have no way to track how much money this will make me if I'm just giving these things out without a plan. So literally in the middle of me sending the images for the fans that were being made for Love Your Scalp, I canceled the order because I'm like, that's not a necessity for the business right now.
Wow.
Eventually, I do want to get to that point, but just because I see the larger businesses having their materials everywhere with their branded stuff, like they have a budget for that.
Right.
And so I realized, oh, okay, I need to use this budget to buy some more ingredients, not to buy some fans for the summertime. So those are 2. So we got managing relationships. We got knowing how to manage money. Okay, for a consumer packaged goods company, which CPG is what that stands for, I would say knowing how to manage inventory. So recently, which is a praise report, but also is poor planning on my end. Recently, currently I'm sold out of 2 products on Love Your Scalp. I'm sold out of the Love Your Scalp Emergency Edge Rollers, and I'm sold out the Love Your Scalp Rejuvenate Me Oil. The Rejuvenate Me Oil is made for dry scalp, and the summertime people love it because they have their braids and they just want to go through and put the oil in their hair and massage it in. But between the month of February and March, not only did I have really good months of online sales, I had 3 in-person events. And at those 3 in-person events, a lot of products ended up selling out. I'm used to making all products in bulk per month. But I made them and I sold out of them. But the problem is if I'm sold out, I can't sell it.
Right.
So now I'm missing out on sales because I don't have inventory for when people come interested in those products.
Yeah.
So knowing how to manage and plan for inventory is something that's really big if you're going to be in CPG. Also, not being afraid to talk about your brand. Something I find a lot of people have businesses and brands and they never talk about them.
Why so? Why do you think so?
I think so because they don't think it's big enough yet. And honestly, like, it is big enough. The fact that you turned this idea into a real life thing is big. And that makes it big enough for you to talk about. Wherever you go, whether it's you telling them or you wearing it to show them, people should know what your business is, because that's the way you gain customers and you gain traction from people knowing about it. And if they don't have the issue, they'll tell somebody else about it. So yeah, that's 4. And 5, you kind of have to be okay with rolling with the punches. And a part of that could be, like, for instance, today, y'all were very flexible with me, not knowing that in my consulting role, I was going to roll over an hour and 30 minutes behind. And y'all were still open to, like, you know, still hosting me still being here today. So that's rolling with the punches and what they come with. Sometimes it might be, hey, I ordered, once upon a time, I was going to do a vending event at Howard. I ordered these bags. I put them on rush order, paid the extra money for it and all that. But the bags were not in Birmingham by the time I was about to catch my flight to Washington, D.C. Well, I had to roll with those punches. Like, do I stay back and miss my flight for these bags? Or do I roll with the punch, call my person that, what do you call those people? Account manager, to say, hey, I'm actually leaving Birmingham. The bags haven't arrived yet. Is there anything we could do? They helped me roll with the punches. Yeah. We could actually one night overnight your stuff, get it to the address you're at in DC. When you get back to Birmingham, you can send those back to us or you'll be charged for it. So, that's a part of rolling with the punches and, you know, taking things as they come and trying to fix things along the way. Yeah. Like, you got to be able to do that, because a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, everything is not going to turn out perfectly.
Facts. That's real. What's your vision? What do you see this going? Like, what's your vision that you have for your company and even for yourself? Like, what you have in your mind?
Yes. I have a big vision for Love Your Scalp. I see it going beyond just being a top shelf scalp care product in a Walmart or a Target. Like, I want us to be at the Ultas. I want us to be at Sephora's. I want you to go to your doctor's office and say, hey, doc, I got a flaky scalp. And the first thing they turn you on to is Love Your Scalp. I also want it to be a brand that's not just providing you with scalp care solutions as products, but also providing you with scalp care solutions as advice, where when you come to our website, you talk to a chat box and tell them, hey, these are the scalp issues I'm having. And it recommends things that you should stop doing to prevent flare-ups from happening, or products you should stop using to prevent flare-ups from happening. So I want it to be a full experience, from you getting advice to you getting solutions on what products can help you with your dry, itchy, and flaky scalp.
That's amazing. That's big. That's amazing. How long are you going to do the attorney, your attorney career, and also Love Your Scalp?
As long as the Lord allows me to do it.
So, you love both as equal, or is there one that you lean more towards? Do you feel an inkling to let one go, or? Well,
there's a thing called bread and butter that you have to eat. Sure. So my meals are provided from me being an attorney. But my passion is fulfilled from me doing Love Your Scalp.
Gotcha.
I could be an attorney as long as I'm paid to be one.
Right.
But you don't have to pay me to do Love Your Scalp.
Yeah.
I want to be paid for it now.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if there was a world where I could wake up and just do one and be able to, you know, feed myself, keep lights on, and do life every day, while also helping to change the world one flaky scalp at a time, I would choose Love Your Scalp over being an attorney.
Gotcha. Is that the goal, or do you want to continue to do both?
So to be completely honest, I would much rather do Love Your Scalp. But the way I'm really moving with what God has for me. And I say that because he allowed me to live my dream at a very, very early age. In high school, I used to say I wanted to work for 2 Chainz. Little did I know I would work with 2 Chainz twice in college and be bought on by his management team to be a tour manager.
Wow.
I think I was like between 19, 20 and 21 when I was doing that. Early. So yeah, he allowed me to live that early. So when that happened, ever since then, I've just been like, whatever I'm doing in my life, like it's because God let me do it. I have not had a desire to do any of this. Like I didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, I want to be an attorney so bad. I also didn't say, hey, I want to run a business so bad. And I want it to be about, having a flaky scalp. None of that was anything that I just had a desire to do. It just, God put me in positions where, hey, I'm going to provide you with this blessing. How you going to work with it? Cool. And I pray that he continues to bless me. So yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. You have, let me see if I can formulate the words to say what I want to say, but you have such an amazing, positive, free, just happy perspective about it all. Like you make it seem like it's, I don't want to say easy, but your perspective and approach to it is just beautiful and positive. I think that's really amazing, where a lot of people come off kind of hard and negative. But you're the opposite. So I just want to give you your flowers when it comes to that. So man,
thank you.
You're inspiration to me. Keep doing what you're doing for sure. And you're definitely setting a great example for the people out here.
Thank you so much.
Last thing for sure. Tell our people where we can find you and give us, and we got a question for you at the end, but yeah, tell our people where we can find you.
Yes. So one thing, you can always find me being Black and abundant, but you can also find me on Instagram at That's Courtney Howard. You can find me doing all things Love Your Scalp on all social media platforms as Love Your Scalp, and also online at www.alwaysloveyourscalp.com.
All right. Thank you. And last question. What does being Black and abundant mean to you?
Being Black and abundant means embracing Blackness and all of the great things that it comes with. Everybody can't be Black. Okay. And so embracing that. And I know like there's a lot of struggle that came with being Black, but we have so much to champion in that. And so being Black and abundant is just living out your Blackness and allowing yourself to be your full self and all of the abundance that comes with. So if you're too much or too abundant for some, it's okay. They can adjust or move on, but you stay Black and abundant in all things that you come with.
Well, can't get no better than that. All right, Courtney, thank you for blessing us with your amazing essence, your presence, and
thank you for having me,
sharing your story and everything about who you are, what you do. It's really been amazing. So thank you.
This has been great. Shout out to Black and Abundant and all the things that they doing abundantly while being Black. Okay.
Right. And with that being said, family, we are out until next time. This is Black and Abundant. I am Jamal, aka J Sco, the producer, and we will see you next time. Peace.